hadn't planned to make this video at all, but you know what? A viewer requested it and I was like, you betcha. If a viewer wants me to make a certain kind of content, I'm all over that. So if you want me to drop a video about a particular shoe, certainly hit me up in the comments down below. That's what happened with this guy. I already made a couple of Star Wars videos. Originally it was the Boba Fett's, and then after that the Darth Vader Superstars, which I think should have been called the Death Stars. That would have been a great name for that shoe. And I hadn't planned to make any more of that Star Wars Adidas sort of tie up there. But then, like I say, a viewer requested, said, you know what, there's a Rivalry Hi coming around with Chewbacca all over it. A great tie up with Chewbacca, and that's a shoe you should definitely think about doing. Now, of course, 99% of the time I will take a viewer at their word and say, you're damn right, I'm going to go after that shoe. But there is, of course, that 1% where I actually have to check it out and decide for myself if it's a shoe that I'm interested in and I want to bring to the channel. And for sure, this is a shoe that I definitely want to talk to you guys about. There's enough little details in there that it's great for me to be able to tell you guys about those things, you know, the things that some people overlook when they look at shoes and don't realize there's a tiny detail that makes all the difference. Of course, a great shoe with a great tie-up to a great collaboration in the Star Wars line, and then the shoe itself has plenty to talk about. And so all of that, you know, comes together and says, you know what, viewer, you're dang right, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get into this, the upcoming release of the Adidas Rivalry Hi Chewbacca. This is a Tokyo Bada 23 channel, Tokyo Bada 23 channel des. 毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And today what we're looking at is the upcoming release of the Adidas Rivalry Hi Chewbacca. And like I say, this is the third shoe in this line that I've looked at, and I hadn't planned to do it, but a viewer requested it, and it turns out, you know what, that's actually worth doing. But the other two, originally it was the Boba Fett's, and I thought I can do that because Boba Fett is kind of an iconic and unique character, and I really dug that shoe. I thought it was a very cool shoe. My dogs are up to something over there. Hopefully this doesn't turn bad. So the Boba Fett sort of thing, I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. And then when I saw its 50th anniversary of the Superstars and the Darth Vader line, and I was like, I kind of have to do that one, okay. So I thought it was done, and then this one as well. I was like, okay, a viewer's request, you know what, it's actually kind of cool. I do want to show this, and especially there's one particular detail on the shoe. But for me, I have to give you full disclosure, I'm a very honest YouTuber. There's no Adidas and Star Wars are not you know, sponsoring my channel, obviously, but it means that I can just, you know, speak freely about my own personal opinions, and I can't say I've ever liked shoes that are furry. Sorry Chewbacca, sorry Star Wars fans, sorry Adidas Rivalry heads out there who love these kind of shoes, but every single shoe that I've reviewed for the channel has got a bit of fur in it. There was an Amelia, somebody, a basketball player, did a tie-up with the Jordan 4s. It was a very furry looking shoe. Earlier this year we had the Dunks from not Grateful Dead, but Grateful Dead as well, but the Ben & Jerry's is what I was thinking about, that had you know, a bit more sort of fur, faux fur they say in there. And it all started back last year with an Air Jordan 6 that was a tie-up to a skateboard shop, I think it was. And every single time I've come across shoes that have a little bit of faux fur on them, I just tell you it's just not my thing. And to be honest, what is my thing, if we want to go furry, is this 10 years ago right here, the previous Chewbacca shoe. Maybe you didn't know this, there was a previous shoe in 2010, which was the Adidas Jogging Hi, I think is the name of that shoe. And the big thing about that shoe was that it was basically just all around the top line, and the lining was where the fur was, and the outside parts of the shoe was just your sort of standard upper on the shoe. Of course, Chewy up there on the top of the tongues gave a bit of details, but that was it. And I can live with that. I can live with a bit of, you know, padding around the ankle, a bit of warmth in winter, I'll go with that. But when it sort of spills out onto the upper, it just isn't my thing. However, it might be your thing, and it definitely represents the character, it definitely represents the collaboration, it definitely represents the name of the shoe. So all of that I'm in agreement with, but just when it comes to putting things on my feet that are furry, just not my thing. Please, please, please tell me in the comments down below if A, I'm wrong, which you can't be because it's my opinion, you can't be wrong about your own opinion, but B, if you have another opinion and you think differently on these shoes, so definitely tell me about that. But even having said that, it's still a shoe worth looking at, especially as it comes as part 3 of the Star Wars tie-up that I've done so far. So without further ado, we'll start where we started with the Boba Fett's and where we started with the Darth Vader's, and that's with the box, because this is super important in two ways. One, the box represents like the character the caricature, the little figurine that you can get when you buy, you know, I mean, toys in Star Wars are absolutely tied together, and these little, you know, a Darth Vader figure in a box, that's what they've gone for, and there's a Chewie figure in a box, and that's what the box for these guys looks like, to represent that figurine sort of style. But more important than that, and it's the same with the Boba Fett's and it's the same with the Darth Vader's, is that you get extra dubris. So the dubris themselves that are attached to the shoe in this video, as you'll see throughout, say Star on one foot and Wars on the other, and I dig that because it's 4 and 4 and it fits nicely into the shoe. Now the Darth Vader's actually had 2 extra pairs of dubris, and I sort of predicted that people wouldn't swap them in and out. What they do is on like row 1 of the laces have one set, row 2 have another set, and row 3 have another set, but I'm not sure if they'll do that with these, because if we zoom in, one of the dubris is absolutely cool, the replacement dubris, but the other I'm a bit questionable on. The one that's cool is the Millennium Falcon, so imagine having that at the end of your laces on your pair of shoes. Very, very cool. But then on the other it says Chewbacca, which is a 9-letter word, I think, which is way too much to fit on a dubris, and it's way too busy, especially when it's against the sort of cleanness of the Millennium Falcon beside it. So for me, you know, the replacement dubris are very, very cool, but if I was getting this shoe, I'd definitely stick with the Star Wars ones, and maybe the Millennium Falcon one, but definitely not the Chewbacca one. Speaking of that, let's get into the rest of the shoe and go up from that dubris up through the lacing system to the top of the tongue, and this is where there's something that I think people don't know about on here. When you're looking from the front, it's cool that it has 2 things on there. One is Chewbacca's face, which is the same as the jogging highs from 10 years ago, and then the other, it's got his name underneath that Chewbacca as well. Now I think it was the Darth Vader's that didn't have the name under the picture of the character, just the character's face on the tongue, so having the name there as well I think is a plus. But then the big thing on the shoe that I think people maybe are missing and don't realise, don't have, you know, the access to the right places to find this information. Now we're talking about this shoe dropping on October the 21st, which I think feels wrong. I think it might drop earlier than that, and I think it might be a UK drop before anything else, and that's 2 feelings, okay? All of the numbers out there don't say that. If I see the price of this shoe, I see it in dollars. If I see the date this shoe's dropping, I see October the 21st, but I feel like it's going to drop faster than that, and I feel like it's going to drop broader, not broader, narrower than that, and be a UK-centric drop. But we'll see when the time for that comes. But what I was talking about was on the back of these guys. Like I say, it's a while away. If it is October 21st, this video is going to drop late September, and usually I wouldn't drop the video this far in advance of the shoe, but like I say, viewer request. Because of that, people might not have picked up on this yet, and they might not have had access to the right pictures or the right sort of sources to see this. And what I'm talking about is the back of the tongue here, and you can see right there, something's going on there, and then when we zoom in on it, you can see it says 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back. Very cool. The Empire Strikes Back released, I think it was May 20th. I don't think it was the 10th. It was one of the 2, May 20th or May 10th. So I think it was May 20th, 1980, and here we are in 2020. So 40 years later, 40 years since The Empire Strikes Back dropped. So dropped. I don't know if we can say that for a video, a movie. But it's been 40 years, and that's on the back of the tongues. And I don't know how many people realise what's going on the back of the tongues there. Now, it's not too far to go from the back of the tongues to the heel, so we'll do that before we go back round to one of the signature features of the shoe. But the heel for me is a bit of a disappointment. I thought they could have done a bit more. Boba Fett and Darth Vader put a bit more into their shoes and the little branding on the back there. I was told recently that on, I think it was on Boba Fett's one, that it was his clan's symbol and not his personal symbol that was on there. But on these guys, they just went with the Adidas branding, the trefoil branding on the back. And I thought it was a bit of a loss. They could have done a bit more than that on the back of these guys. I'm going to go down to the outsole first and just give you a quick look at the outsole. The only reason I'm doing that is because the outsole on the jogging highs was a bit simple for me, so it's nice to see a bit more sort of character and definition there, and I almost got a sort of feel of the Millennium Falcon kind of layout on these guys. I wonder if they could have done that for real instead of sort of hinting at it. But the last thing to do is to go all the way back up to the lacing system again, because a different view will give you a different sign of that belt that Chewie usually wears across his shoulder and round to his waist, and you can see that it kind of looks like an ammo belt, but I don't actually know what it is. Do you know what Chewie's belt holds? Is it ammo? maybe it's lunches. But you can see that belt wrapped around the front of the shoe from one side, running diagonally across the lacing system to the other side, which is very cool, very representative of the character. So if we pan it back out, have a look at the whole shoe in that sort of furry, light brown, dark browns. It definitely represents the character of Chewbacca. It's got enough in there to be a great tie-up with Star Wars and a nod to the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. So it's all there as far as Star Wars is concerned. It's all there as far as sneaker collaborations. There's enough of Star Wars in the Adidas shoe that the two are significantly there together. But just for me, not a huge fan of furry shoes. So I'm sure there are people out there who think differently. Now, if that viewer of mine is out there and he's seen this video and he sees, definitely drop me up with a comment down below and let me know if this is what you were looking for, or if it wasn't what you were looking for, if you're looking for something else. And anyone else who wants to drop a comment down below, please do so too. For now though, time for me to sign off and do what I do at the end of every single video. So I do this every single day, like daily, for over 600 days without a single day missing. I keep on keeping on, and because I do that, it means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.